Hi, I'm Victoria and welcome to my channel, The Primary Mentor. I've decided to set up this YouTube channel because in September I'm going to be taking on a new role as an ECT mentor in my school setting. And it's a role that I've done in the past, and I was talking to my husband about what I've got to do in September. And he came up with the idea he said, well, why don't you just share your expertise, things you've learned over the years as a primary school teacher, to others. So I thought that this channel could be a really nice documentary of my journey as a mentor, but equally at the same time, I thought it'd be really nice to offer you the opportunity to improve your knowledge and understanding about becoming an ECT. So this channel is going to be really aimed at ECTs, trainee teachers, and teachers who are in their first few years of being a primary school teacher. So I'm hoping this channel can give you a lot of advice and expertise, and it's hopefully to provide you with information that I wish that I had had when I started out in becoming a teacher nearly 20 years ago. So today's video is all about 8 things you can do to get ready for the new term. Okay, the first thing you can do to get yourself prepared for September is to get all your personal wellbeing appointments out the way now. So these are things like doctor's appointments, dentist, hairdresser, opticians, any of those wellbeing appointments, get them done now so you start the term with them off your head. You do not want to be spending October half term, when you finally get there, filling your week up all those appointments. You are going to be exhausted, you're going to be tired, and the last thing you want to do is to fill up your week with all those appointments. So if you can, now is a really good time to get organised and get all those done so you start the term afresh. So the second thing, which would be a really good idea to help you get ready for September, is to sort your wardrobe out. So what I mean by this is go through your wardrobe, pick out all the clothes that you are going to allocate for teaching, have a look through them all, make sure you've got enough, make sure you've got some more warmer items of clothing, because obviously it's going to get colder as the term goes on. And just sort yourselves out with them really. Just check all your clothes, make sure you've got everything. You might be really organised and sort them into which days you're going to wear them, but just get yourself sorted. And again, it's just another thing off your head when it comes to September. The third thing, which is really, really useful, is to get yourself a coffee or tea mug for the staff room. Every school is different. Some schools have generic mugs that everyone can use. Other schools, teachers, teaching assistants have their own mugs that they use every day. So before you start your new school, you might just want to check out that just to make sure that you're all sorted. But if you do need a teacher's mug, go out and grab yourself one to start the beginning of the year. The fourth thing, which I think is really obvious, is planning. Now, in terms of planning, what you do need to do is a long-term plan. And this is a plan for the whole year. Roughly what topics you're going to cover in autumn, spring and summer. Most schools have already got these in place, so there's no new work to do. You just simply have to take the plans that your predecessors would have done. But just have a look at the units, see what you've got ahead, make any tweaks if need be. But it's really good to have that long-term plan put in stone at this time of year, because you've just got an idea what is going to happen over the year. You don't really want to over plan at this stage because things do change, and you'll walk in on the first day in September on your inset day, and there are always changes. There are always things that come up that you never really thought would happen. But your long-term plan is pretty much stay there, and it's just an overview. And it's really good to get this secure. Going nearer to September, or in inset days in September, you will probably spend time with other teachers in your team, planning on the short-term, day-to-day, weekly plans. But at this stage, it's really good to get a good idea of what you want to do for the whole year, where you want your class to be in July. Okay, the fifth thing to do is, if you can, speak to the cleaner or the key holder and get into school, because it's really good to have a day or 2 days, 3 days to dedicate going to school without any children there, without any parents, and you've just got time for yourself to really look at the classroom, see how it's going to work out, and it's a really opportunity to have a good declutter. So if you think there are resources there which you're pretty confident you're not going to use, put them back into the shared area for other staff members to use. Just get rid of things in there which you think have been there for too long or you're really not going to use, and put them aside. Really have a good declutter, get rid of things, and have a good clear out. Okay, the sixth thing kind of links into setting your classroom up. Organise your stationery supplies. So depending on how your school is, you might be allocated a certain stationery budget, set number of glue sticks, pencils for your class for the year. So it's really good to ration these. Make sure you've got enough for each child, enough scissors, pens, rubbers, all the basics. And then I would hide a group of this in your stationery cupboard, because mid-year you can always get these out for the second half of the year. So get all your stationery supplies sorted and organised. Okay, the next thing which is really good to do is to organise where your places for your children are going to sit. So where your children are going to sit, how you're going to organise them. This will probably change, it always generally does, but it's a good starting point. It's a good starting point to think, okay, I'm going to put that child with that child and that child with that child, and just see how it goes. Don't overthink it, but just have a plan. You don't want your class coming in September having no idea where they're going to sit and it be quite disorganised right at the beginning. So take some time, have a think where you're going to put everyone, put their labels on their desks, so when they walk in on that first day in September, they know exactly where they're going, and it will just seem much calmer a start to the day for you. Okay, the next thing, it's kind of linked into that last one, is also organise coat pegs, coat hooks, where your children are going to put their bags, packed lunches, coats. Ideally you want a peg for each child, and maybe a place for water bottles, a place for packed lunches. All these beginning systems are really important to get in place for September. Children need to know where they're going, they need to know where they're putting their water bottle, they need to know where they're putting their coat, and these are things children get quite anxious about. So it's really important that you're organised, you know exactly where they're going, and then by the second day in term, they know exactly where they're going. Children are easily trained, so if you can get those systems in place, then it will be just plain sailing for you in September. Okay, the next thing, which I think will really help your class, why not get some plants in your classroom? There's so much research into well-being that, you know, houseplants, greenery creates a real positive atmosphere and calming environment for yourself and for your class. So we've started adding a few more plants into our rooms in the school, and I think it just makes a really nice impression to the class. It makes it just feel more inviting, more welcoming, and a much more nurturing environment. So get some plants if you can. And the last thing you need to get ready for September is to take some time out for yourself. Have a rest, get some recuperation, go for a walk, just have some time to yourself to really just get yourself together, because it will be quite exhausting the first few days, first few weeks. So if you've had that rest now, you'll be fully prepared and you'll have a lot more energy for when you start in September. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I'm hoping to share a few more. So I've been in the classroom now for 20 years, and I think all these kind of things have helped me survive and to stay in the classroom. So yeah, so if you could like and subscribe, that would be great. Maybe share this video with your other ECT friends or university colleagues, because, you know, if we can get this out into the teaching community, it might help other people, you know, with their ECT year. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to post another video soon. Bye.